Welcome to the SEO.co Search Engine Optimization Podcast. Digital marketing essentials and next level tactics. From offsite and on-site optimization to persuasive selling and everything in between. You'll learn actionable tips on what it takes to outright and outrank your competition.
Hello and welcome back. In the online marketing world, things change constantly. SEO professionals have to be on their toes 24/7, always watching, listening, reading, and preparing for potential changes that could occur. The past decade has been a roller coaster ride for SEO professionals, but over the last year or two, things have finally leveled off. Some were ready for the algorithm changes that occurred over that time span, which changed the industry, while many were completely caught off guard. While the sudden apocalyptic updates are all but over with, it's still important to make time to keep up with the changes in the industry or hire someone who specializes in it. So in today's episode, I'm going to briefly cover some of the massive algorithm changes that have shaken the industry in the past. Starting with Google Panda. Google's Panda algorithm update, which was in 2011, but it still occasionally refreshes, targeted sites with a low quality on-site content. Even huge sites with thousands of pages that long enjoyed top rankings were severely affected. Business sites weren't exempt either. In fact, there was one furniture store that offered a $25,000 reward for anyone who could recover their site's rankings and traffic to their pre-Panda levels. Since Panda's original launch in February of 2011, there have been numerous updates to the algorithm. As the years have passed, the updates have made smaller ripples and have rolled out with greater distances between iterations. So how can you avoid the Panda algorithm? Google doesn't give definite answers very often. So as a result, much of what an SEO professional does is researching and testing. This is the only way to get real answers. With that said, here are some of the tips that will help you stay out of Panda's way. First, avoid duplicate content. In other words, textual content that is exactly the same on one page of your website as another page on your website. You need to avoid thin content or content that is incomplete, too brief, or otherwise not useful or valuable to readers. Include original, unique, valuable content on every page of your website. You're going to want to limit advertisements on your website, especially if they're located above the fold of the page, or they're not very relevant to the content of the page. Don't unnaturally stuff keywords into your page content. You're going to want to publish interactive, engaging content to keep visitors on your website longer and use attention-grabbing but truthful and succinct meta descriptions. You want to get lots of real social signals by engaging and interacting in social media, and you want to get high-quality inbound links from other websites. Now I want to change the subject and talk a little bit about Google Penguin. While Panda focused more on on-site factors and content, the Penguin algorithm was designed to look for unnatural manipulation of search engine rankings occurring off-site. This algorithm was released in April 2012, and it significantly affected hundreds of thousands of websites. Inbound links used to play an even greater role in search engine rankings than they do now. This fact was abused and manipulated to the point that Google had to figure out a way to fix it. Penguin was Google's answer that tried to fix it. So talking about some other Google updates, there have been a handful of other landmark Google updates that have redefined how search marketers optimize their sites, but none have been as significant as Penguin or Panda. And so I'll just briefly cover some of the other main Google updates. One was the Google Hummingbird, which was released in 2013. This update made keyword-based strategies completely obsolete. It introduced semantic search to the algorithm, which analyzes the intent behind a user's query rather than dissecting its keyword content. The other was the Google Pigeon, and it was unofficially named the Pigeon. It was an update of 2014, and it completely overhauled how Google determined local rankings. Most noteworthy is the greatly increased reliance on Yelp and other third-party directories to feed information about domain authority. There was also Mobile Get-In, which also was unofficially named. The Mobile Get-In update hit in April of 2015, and it penalized any site that wasn't optimized for mobile devices. And last but not least, the quality update. This was released in May of 2015, and Google releases a phantom unannounced update that refined how Google determines the authoritative strength of an article. And it didn't result in a lot of volatility in the search ranks.
Thank you for joining us on the SEO.co podcast. We appreciate your time. Be sure to rate, review, and subscribe to the show, and visit SEO.co for more resources based on today's topic, as well as access to more podcast episodes to help you improve your site's long-term SEO success.